When it comes to social engineering, people tend to behave differently at work than at home when it comes to responding to requests. So as an IT pro, what can you do to help prevent social engineering? Well, I'm glad you asked. Training your end users is an effective way to avoid disasters. So let's take a look at what you should be doing to teach your end users how to avoid social engineering. You've heard the term back to basics, okay? So when it comes to Internet 101, start by educating your employees on the basics of internet technology. Social engineers love to manipulate the things you're familiar with. So think about your business and how you communicate. Do you do it with email? Do you do it with Slack? Do you do it with the web browser? Chances are it's one or all of those three. The thing that you want to consider are odd behaviors of the technology. This means end users need to understand how a web browser normally looks, how web pages can behave a little bit differently, and is that something that should trigger a kind of skeptical response? End users should understand how certificates work. They should also understand the usual behavior of some sort of mobile app, and then be able to identify unusual behavior so that they can kind of say, okay, I think maybe things are getting a little fishy. Get it? So that way you can spot something that's important to understand. Well, then train your end users to approach communication with a healthy sense of skepticism. They should really be ready to ask questions and avoid acting even if the appeal is really convincing. In a previous life, I used to do a lot of work in pen testing, and so social engineering was a pretty big deal, pretty big part of that. And one of the things that I would do is do a tremendous amount of research on the person who I was social engineering. And this way I could have set myself up as some sort of trusted resource. If that end user has a good sense of skepticism, they'll get past that problem. Explain to your end user that when they receive a request, they should first verify that this request came from a legitimate source. When it comes to social engineering, it's really fun to put end users in the zone. And so it's important for end users, for people to trust but verify. That way you get past kind of this assumption kind of thinking, and you can get into thinking a bit more proactively, a bit more smartly. Perhaps the cardinal rule to preventing attacks these days is to think before you click. And by clicking, as end users, we do all sorts of clicking or taking action on certain things, whether it be hitting enter to put that message into Slack, or clicking on that email, or on that link that we got somehow. It's very important to train your staff to avoid strange-looking links and attachments. Is there a difference between the text that you are reading and the actual link itself? Hackers take advantage of our soft focus by putting us in what they will call the zone. And if you're able to focus on your employees and give them specific ways to wake up from what I call their auto-magic thinking, that, well, automatically applications will do things for us, it basically allows end users to identify problems and to get out of that distracted kind of thinking or that soft focus. And when a request comes through, make the right kind of step. As an IT pro, you can teach your end users how to increase an end user's muscle memory. And that term I like to use because it's easy to kind of take certain courses of action. And social engineers know about those courses of action. So how do you increase your muscle memory to get out of problems like that? Well, first of all, take a short walk around the office or the home before answering a particular request, just to make sure you clear your mind a bit. Conduct another quick activity. You could browse the web for a second or some other simple task. That way you can then start the business of answering that request in an appropriate way. Simple activities such as this can keep you from making a bad decision or some sort of distracted decision. Let's face it, you don't know what you don't know, and training your end users goes a long way in helping them discover gaps in their knowledge, and it helps to prevent social engineering attacks. Folks are less likely to fall victim if they know what they're looking for and if they know what social engineers are looking for. And that can help your organization's security tremendously. So check out our other videos to learn more about social engineering attacks.